Alright my friends, how you all doing? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the beginning of a brand new Planet Zoo series. Basically, I am making this announcement off of the back of Frontier releasing a brand new DLC, but we'll get into that in a moment because obviously I do want to address the elephant in the room at the beginning, and that is what is happening with Highland Zoo. Is that series finished? And mainly, where have you been, Dan? Because it's been 2 weeks since you uploaded. Though, first and foremost, Highland Zoo is not finished, ladies and gents. I will link last episode above for you now to watch if you haven't done so already. I am sure you probably have because it was a couple of weeks ago that I uploaded that. Essentially, ladies and gents, I've not been uploading videos because of this stuff that's been going on. Basically, I needed to take a little bit of a break from everything. This coronavirus scare and pandemic is not very nice. You know, my wife and I have obviously had to be, quarantined, self-isolated, however you want to put it, because the UK is on somewhat of a lockdown, and plus with my wife being quite heavily pregnant, we have to be especially careful. So what I have been doing is using that time to my advantage, and this room is going to be becoming a nursery for our daughter who is due in July. So yeah, I've just been kind of getting all of the little bits and bobs put in place, putting up furniture and getting things sorted. You probably realised already this room looks a bit different on camera. Essentially my desk used to be against that wall. I've had to move it over here temporarily because we're going to be putting a cot together that is going to go in behind me. So yeah, just a lot of stuff's been going on. I've just been taking a bit of me time, looking after my wife and just making sure that we start getting everything set in the house and everything ready during this very difficult time for everyone. And I do just want to say with that, where that's concerned, I hope you're all safe, I hope you're all well, and I hope you're all really looking after yourself. And just, I said this in a video on my other channel, just follow the government's guidelines, whatever country you're in, and just look after yourself, basically. So yeah, that series hasn't finished. I've just been having a little bit of a break. I am hoping though that by the end of this week, potentially Friday actually, because I am going to be doing some recording, I will have a new episode of Highland Zoo out for you that you can watch, you can enjoy, and yeah, we'll get that series crack-a-lacking again. But back to the premise of today's video, and it is the start of a brand new series on the channel, and it's none of the ideas that I have been teasing over the previous months. It's not a franchise mode. It's not a remake zoo. It's none of that stuff. It's not a budget zoo. No. Basically, I've been left alone with my thoughts for far too long during this time of trouble, and I have come up with a unique, crazy, mad scientist idea where you, the viewers, are going to make all of the decisions, and essentially you're going to have to manage the finances of this brand new zoo and make sure that it stays afloat whilst slowly expanding it during the course of time. I've got a few rules, I've got a few regulations that I have put in place for this one, and essentially I've just tried to do it the best way I can so that you guys can't cheat the system. But yes, let's get into it, shall we? This is exciting. It's probably going to be very, very confusing and overcomplicated. It's either going to be a massive win or a massive foul, but we're going to give it a go anyway, my friends. So yeah, let's get into this interactive zoo. And here it is. Yes, crazy. It looks like a weird maze, doesn't it, at the moment? But trust me, it's all going to make sense by the time this video is over. I am very, very sure of that, ladies and gents. Now, like I've already said, I'm going to try to keep this as simple as possible. By the time this is finished, your brain's either going to hurt or you're going to go, wow, the guy's a genius. This is going to be fun. I hope it's the latter. I really, really do. But anyway, my friends, this is the brand new zoo. Van Dan Extra has been given some money. Well, the company has been injected with 97,000 in-game dollars and 1,500 conservation points. And they've basically said to me, you and your executives, you and your fans have to go and build a zoo the best possible way in the most realistic fashion, but you've got to do it in very minute baby steps. And there are rules in place for us to do it. Now, each one of those squares on the screen is worth money. And each one of those bits of money is a gift to the zoo every time you unlock one. The trouble is you can only unlock a square every 10 in-game years. Now, a lot of you might be sitting there thinking, well, that's easy, Dan. You just press play and you let the time tick on by, and each episode will just say, unlock this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. But no, rules have been put in place. We are not allowed to do that. So first and foremost, ladies and gents, we will be gifted one square when we start episode 1, the very first official episode, and it's this square here. We will be gifted that off the back because we do need some space to get the groundwork going. So essentially, what I am going to ask of you by the time this is over, this episode, is to start getting your ideas into me for what you want to see in that square. But we'll get to that in a moment because I still need to explain exactly how this gridded square system works. So the 5x5 squares, which are these small ones here, will gift us 200 in-game dollars every time one is unlocked. The 10x10 squares, which is this one here, will be gifting us 500 in-game dollars every time that is unlocked. And the big boys, the 20x20s, will gift us 760 in-game dollars every time they're unlocked. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking, that is not a lot of money. No, it's not. And that's why you're going to have to be very, very prudent with the money and how you use it between each episode. Now, I've already said to you guys, you can unlock a new square every 10 in-game years. But now I really need to explain how the time is going to move on. Now, at the beginning of every episode, obviously we'll be coming back to add something to the zoo. In episode 1, the clock will be paused on year 1, and I will build whatever you have suggested when this video is finished. We will build that, but I will also then be asking for your decisions as well at the end of today's episode. Ready for that one. To see what happens next. Do we move on or do we stay put? So I've really got to try and explain this in the most simple way. I don't want to overcomplicate this at all if I can help it. So basically, ladies and gents, why I'm building, the clock will be stopped. It will be paused because obviously builds can take a long time, and it would be the easiest way to cheat the clock and make time go forward. But the minute that the build is finished, we unpause, we press play, the clock starts again, the years start ticking forward. At the end of every episode, you will be given a choice, a simple yes or no answer. Do we move forward 10 years or do we stay put? I will let that run for, up until sort of like the day before the next episode, which is when I plan to make it. And whatever the answer is, that will be what I, basically, take on board and I crack on with into the next episode, basically. So what will happen is each episode at the beginning, you will either hear me come straight in talking and we crack on with a new episode with the game paused, or you will see those years tick on by and the money either go up or go down, because it's all going to be how you managed the previous episode is how that money's affected. So yeah, it's going to be very, very difficult to make these decisions and these judgments every single time, ladies and gents. So yeah, I hope that kind of makes sense. I really, really do. But in the most simple form, episode 1, we unlock a square, we do some building, you get a yes or no, do we move forward 10 years at the end of that episode? If you said yes, at the beginning of episode 2, you will see that time tick by. If you say no, it will be paused and we will crack on again from that point. But at the end of every build, I press play anyway, and we see how it affects, because we're going to need the game to move forward to make money, to not only be gifted the squares, but to be able to expand the zoo. Essentially, that's how it's going to work. So yeah, that's the first thing. I think I've overcomplicated this already. Anyway, on to the next thing. Every single choice in the zoo is made by you guys, and I'm essentially going to be controlling the comments myself. But what I really need you to do between episodes is just tell me what you want me to build next. Okay, so if like episode 1, for instance, you've got to be really clever about what you tell me to build. Is it going to be an entrance? It's going to have to be something that's going to kind of earn us money, I would guess. But yeah, you've got to do that. Remember, don't go too over the top. I'm very much, realism based. And so that's what I would like. Don't tell me to build a spaceship, because you don't get spaceships in zoos. But yeah, realism based. And then we go from there. So between episodes, essentially, what I really need you to do is say, I would love it if you could build, an entrance, but I would love it to be like a modern theme. There's this zoo in such and such a place where I go to, take a look at that entrance and get some, information from that, or do a replica of this, or do a this or that. That's how I want you to do it. Tell me the theme. Tell me, give me references if you want me to do it from a different zoo, that sort of stuff. Essentially, that's what you're going to be doing. If you want me to build a habitat, I want you to build a tapir habitat, but, can you do it as natural as possible? Or I want you to do, a lion habitat, but it needs to have a lot of this. Can you do this? Can you do that? Essentially, that's how you're going to have to do it. You need a lot of detail with the stuff that you want me to build, and then I will scale through the comment section, and the ones that are like most liked or the most repeated, essentially, we'll come back next episode. I'll show you what we're going to do, and then we crack on and we build it. So you guys are basically in control of everything. All the other little suggestions as well. If you think we need to take out a loan, leave a comment. Oh, do you know what? Money's running really, really low, Dan. I think you should take out a loan. It might help the zoo. I think you should do some marketing. Get a marketing campaign going. Do a TV ad. That might really help the zoo. You're going to have to leave comments for absolutely everything, because I'm having nothing to do with it. I'm essentially just going to be the master builder. You guys are going to make all of the decisions, though, every single episode. Now, back to the squares. So how is the decision for which square is going to get unlocked next going to work? So basically what's going to happen, ladies and gents, is in episode 1, this square is going to be the one that is gifted to us. So then what I will do is I will give you an option of every square that is on the edge of that one to be unlocked, should that be the case that you choose to do that. So I will number them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, essentially. And then what you do is in the comment section below is just say, oh, I think you should unlock square number, leave the number, and then we'll tally them up as well, and that's the one that would get unlocked. Unless, of course, people say no to moving forward 10 years, where no square would get unlocked, and we would just remain in this square, and then we would have to scale through those comments and try to build something inside the square that we've already got. I really, really hope that makes sense. I know I've probably massively overcomplicated things, but I just feel like this is our chance to do something unique. This is our chance to do something where you guys at home can really, really get involved. And, I'm sure as the series goes on, it will make more and more sense every single time. Because what you're going to realise is in every episode, you're going to be given so many choices by me, polls to vote on, things to write in the comments. I'm going to make it really, really easy for you, essentially. But I just wanted to kind of explain the rules here so that you understood exactly how the series is going to work. Okay, I hope that will really, really make sense to you, my friends. It's the easiest way I could do it. And please let me know if you like the idea of the series. Because end of the day, if loads of you write in the comments that you hate it, then yeah, it might just have to be something that I do for my own kicks in my spare time. But yeah, I just wanted to do something hard. And I wanted to do something where you guys could really get involved, because I have a relatively small channel, but we are Planet Zoo based 100%. And not only that, but you guys leave such fantastic comments on stuff to do in Highland Zoo. But because it doesn't really fit in, I can't really do it. But I think if we've got a zoo that's like dedicated to you guys, where you make the decisions and you call the shots, I just think it could be fantastic. And I think it could be really cool and really eclectic, and a blend of different people's ideas and styles could really make for this zoo to be very, very unique. Like I say though, do try to think about how zoos are put together in real life, because I really like realism. So even down to a sillier thing as leaving me a video and saying, I think you should build a car park in that square because the zoo hasn't got one yet. even stuff like that is really, really, you know, needed. And every single build, you're going to see every single little piece of, like, you know, foliage. You're going to see it all go in this, because you're going to have to tell me stuff like, oh, I think you should put a planter here. I think you should put a statue here. You're going to have to tell me, because if you don't, there's going to be all these gaps where there's no foliage, there's nothing filled in. You're in control, basically. But you got to watch the money. So let me talk to you about episode 1, officially episode 1, ladies and gents. Now, as you can see, there is no entrance. We've got no spawn points. So basically, I need to put, I'm going to just temporarily, I'm going to put a spawn point here and a spawn point here. If I'd actually really thought about this, I probably shouldn't have deleted. I probably shouldn't have deleted this, but I really wanted you guys to be massively, massively in control. But I think I'm just going to put a spawn point here, one here. We'll join it up for now, because obviously this bit at the front, you're not going to be in too much of a control of. So this square here, I'm gonna delete it now. Basically, I am going to delete this square now. Boom, there you go. So this is your starting square, ladies and gentlemen. There's another piece there, we just need to delete that. Yeah, this is your starting block, and this is where you are going to have to come up with the ideas of what we start with in the zoo, ladies and gents. Now, you're not going to get any decisions this episode on do we skip forward 10 years, because that would be silly, wouldn't it? Because we've already cheated the system. We're going to leave it paused, and we're going to begin at this point next episode. But what do we put in square one? All of you need to get your comments in below right now. All your ideas, don't matter how big they are, it don't matter how small they are. Just remember though, you've only got $97,800 to start with. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And the reason why the 800's gone on there is we've been gifted some money. So actually, I lied. It's more money than I first thought that we get gifted. Actually, it didn't delete all of that square, did it? I don't think it did, Captain. I don't think it did. You know what? It might have done. I really don't know. I'm sure it has. Anyway, that's what you're going to get gifted, ladies and gents. It's 800, not 760. I lied. I did think that was a very exact number, but there you go, 800. That's what you get gifted for a big square. So yeah, this is what you've got to deal with. This square here, I need all you to get all your comments in, all your best ideas, and then the best one basically wins, ladies and gents. And then from next episode, you will get the votes on, do we push forward 10 years? Do we open a new square? What square do we open? And all that good stuff. I really, really hope this has made sense, because if not, this is going to be a huge disaster. So there you have it, my friends. That's the brand new series. I really hope it made sense. I really hope it's going to work, and I really hope loads of you get involved. And I think something else that I should have said is we need a name for this zoo. We really need a name for this zoo. Get your best suggestions in for a name for the zoo, because at the moment it doesn't have a name, and that's very, very sad if you're asking me. Yeah, also the spawn points. Let me know your ideas on what the spawn points could be. Could they be bus stations? Could it be part of the car park eventually? That'd be really interesting, because we really need to disguise them if we can, because they're very, very ugly. But anyway, my friends, we are done and dusted for this episode of the brand new series. Get involved, get voting, get commenting, and yeah, next time we'll read the best of them. If you're new, hit the subscribe button, hit that like button if you've enjoyed it, hit the bell notification button to never miss an episode on this channel. But until next time, my friends, you stay extra. I'll see you real soon. Oh, yeah.